All right, welcome back. Now, in this particular video, as we got introduced to this web app that we're going to actually create a web app for our machine learning projects, right? So let's see how we're going to do this straight away. Let's just jump in. So what we are using over here is called Streamlit, right? So if you're not familiar with Streamlit, it's just a way that you can build a data app, or you can build an app which will run in your browser, right, for your projects, right? So if you can see some demonstration here on their homepage, right? So if you build your machine learning algorithms or your machine learning models in specific, right, in your Jupyter Notebook, what you can actually do is to build an app for that, right? That will make it more reasonable for anybody anywhere to use it. So this can be used, in your browser, whether on your laptop or on your phone. You can use it anywhere, right? Anyone can use it. Your managers can use it. Your friends can use it. Anyone at all can actually see what you've built, right? So instead of giving them that black box Jupyter Notebook that people don't really understand what is going on, right? You can build an app for that so that they can actually use it. So that's what we are going to do in this particular video. All right. So let's get started now. In order for you to actually do this, right? So it's just like if you go to your Jupyter Notebook, right? If you go to your Jupyter Notebook, normally what we do is to import the various libraries that we're going to use, right? So that's what you normally do. So in this particular case, what we're going to do is go to your if you're on Windows, you use your command line. If you're on Mac, you can use your terminal. Okay, you can use your terminal to do that. So this one is actually running our app. So let me just stop it. Let me just stop it over here right now. Good. Let me clear this and then start everything from scratch. Now, what I'm going to do over here is to show you. So if you don't have Streamlit already, right? What you're going to do is to just type this simple command, right? So you're going to do Streamlit. You have to first install it. So you're going to do pip install, right? Pip install Streamlit. All right, that's all. If you run this, right, it's going to. I have it already. So it's actually going to show me that requirement already satisfied, as you can see. Right? It's actually going to show me that requirement already satisfied because I have it already. Right. So let me actually make this a little bit. Let me widen this. Yeah, I think it's good. All right. So if you don't have it, that's basically what you're supposed to do. You just have to run this command, right? Pip install Streamlit. I just run that command and everything will be fine. All right. So let me just clear my screen. Right. Let me just start everything here. All right. So now that is done, if you install that, everything is just going to take about maybe 1 minute or something like that. So, a few seconds to run, right? So that is the first thing. I've actually written the steps over here for you, so that I will also upload this on the platform for you so that you can easily follow along, right? So after you install your you install the Streamlit, right? After you install the Streamlit, what you can do to make sure that it's working, right, is to run this command, right? Streamlit hello, right? You just run that. So let's go there and then see, right? So if I do Streamlit hello, right, if I do that, it's actually going to open in my browser, right? You see that it's actually going to open in my browser and then show me some stuff over here. All right. So this is a default thing that they've built, right? So you can see we have some sidebar here, some things that you can actually explore, right? So you can actually explore a lot of stuff over here, right? You can just be playing around with it, right? You can see now anytime that you're running anything, you in order to see that the things are working, you can actually see it over here that you'll be seeing this running, right? And then you see that it's actually running. You have to take a little bit patient for it to finish running. All right, so basically that is some of the things that you can do over here, right? This is just a demo, right? All of them here, just some demo that you can actually see, right? This is just a default thing. We're going to do it from scratch, doing it according to our requirements, right? You're going to do everything, not all of the things that are present here that we need. Okay, so that is one thing that you need to do. Let's say the requirement. So the next thing that you need to do is this, right? You need a text editor. So any text editor will work, right? Any text editor will work. In my case, I'm using Sublime Text. So if you want to use that too, I've given you a link here. So let me just copy that link, right? So if I copy this link, then I go to my browser, right? Let me just go to my browser here, and then I paste it in there, right? So if I do that, it's actually going to take me to the Sublime Text web page, right? Then I can download it, right? So that's basically what I'm doing, right? This is it. This is what I'm going to use, right? This is my Sublime Text over here. You can use any text editor of your choice, right? Any text editor of your choice, you can use it. All right. Okay, so over here you can actually download the one that suits your system. So if you're using Mac, you can download it from here, right? So because I'm using Mac, that's why it's showing me that, right? If you click on say download, right, you can actually go to the download page, and then over here you can choose the one that suits your system, right? So we have for Mac, we have for Windows, we have Windows, so we have 32 and then 64. The same thing for Linux, right? 64 and then 32, right? So the one that suits your system, you just download it. Okay, you just download it from here. So I have mine over here, and that's what you are actually going to use. So that's the second requirement. So first you have to do the pip install, then you install the Streamlit, right? Pip install Streamlit. Then after that you check to see if it is working by using Streamlit hello, right? And then you can actually you can download any if you have text editor already, it's fine, right? I'm using Sublime and I like it. So if you want to use that too, I have a link here for you, right? You just go to the sublimetext.com. You can actually get it from there. All right, and you just download it from there. Okay, the next thing is to start creating whatever you want to create. Okay, so let's just start over here. Let me go to my text editor. So over here, whatever I'm going to do, I'm just going to save it. So let me go to file, and then save it as any name that you want to save. The most important thing is that you have to make sure that you save it .py, right? You make sure that there's .py as an extension. So maybe let me go and see, maybe introduction. Let me give it some name, right? Introduction.py. That's what you have to make sure that it's there, right? The .py, make sure it's there. So you can give it any name that you want. Okay, so after that is done, now you can come here and then you start creating whatever you want to create. So if you remember in the Jupyter Notebook, whatever we want to do, the first thing, if you go to the Jupyter Notebook, the first thing that we do is to import the various libraries, right? So the same thing, let's go to our text editor and then start creating something over here. So what I'm going to do is to import. So remember that we've installed Streamlit, so I can import Streamlit. Right, import Streamlit as maybe as a st, right? So the same thing that we do import. As st. Okay, we do import pandas as pd, import numpy as np. Those the same thing. Import Streamlit as st. All right, so just the same thing that we used to do. So let's say we want to set some title over here. So I can do st.title, right? So if I do that, then I can give it any title over here. So maybe what should I do? Let's see. Maybe I should give it our Streamlit. Maybe this title is fine, right? So let's save it. Control S, right? On Mac it's just Command S, right? So if I do that, let me go to my let me go to this one, right? So I'm going to stop this using Control C, right? And then let me change my directory. Now right now I'm in a different folder called Stream folder. I'm going to move from that and then go to my to documents. So let me see. Let me change this. All right. Okay, let me move in here, and then I can do, in order for me to run, right? In order for me to run, I've given you instruction here. So we use run streamline, and then you're going to run this command is what you're supposed to use, right? So streamline run, and then this one will be your app name, right? So Let me actually use it here. Maybe your app name, right? So you put your app name over there, right? So I'm going to write it the same thing. So over here we have Streamlit run. Our app name is remember that we gave it a name here, right? Which is introduction.py. So or .py, or you can call it that way. So run introduction.py. So if we click that, it's actually going to open this in our browser, right? So you can see in the local host over here, right? So it's actually going to open this in our browser for us. Okay, so now you see that we have it here, our Streamlit app. You see that it's there, right? So just the same thing, the title that we gave over here, right? Our Streamlit app is the same thing. So if you want to see that, if it's the same thing, if you want to confirm, maybe our first, maybe let me add first. So we have our Streamlit app. That's what we did. So maybe let me add this. Our first Streamlit app. Now Control S, right? So then I come back here. Then over here, right, you can either do a rerun or always run. I always prefer to use always run so that anytime that I make any changes, it will run that automatically. So let me click on that, and then you see that our first Streamlit app, you see that the changes that we made has reflected over here. All right, so now let's go ahead and see some of the other stuff that we can actually do, right? So this is setting the title. So the same way that you can write comment in your Jupyter Notebook, you can do the same thing over here. So, I mean, maybe here we're setting title, so set title, right? All right, so we can do the same thing. And we can add image. If you remember the one that I showed you earlier when it was having an image. So in order for you to add image, you can use this is from PIL. Import, you have to import first, right? So you have to import image. All right. And then you do ht. Okay, maybe we can set a subtitle, right? Or maybe we bring the image first and then we set a title. So either way will work, right? So let's set some subtitle, right? Maybe subtitle will work. Let's first bring a subheader over here before we bring the image, right? So I'm just going to write this is a header, right? So I'm just going to do that. I actually have to put them. Okay, is a subheader. Undo this. All right. So let me just do Control S, and then you see that this is a subheader is there, right? So let me now add the image, right? I can just add the image over here, right? So for that, I'm just going to do image equals. Then I do this image dot open, right? Image dot open. Then I do this. Then the particular image that I want to use, right? The particular image that I want to use. So okay. So I'm just going to add this logo over there. So for that, let me go here, right? So it's logo open logo dot. This is .png, right? So let me save it. And then let me go back. So Streamlit run introduction.py. All right, fine. I have to run this again because I stopped it, right? Okay, so over here, let me go back. Yeah, let me run this. Okay, so let me close the old one and then open it here again. Now you see the images there, right? You see the images there. So that's basically what I did. So let me just take it back again. So I first import this Streamlit. Then after that I set the title. So that's the title that you can see here, our first Streamlit app. Then I also I added this library, right, which is going to help me show this image, right? And then I also show this st.subheader, right, which is just this subheader. So maybe this subheader we can change it to something more meaningful. Maybe I'm just going to change it to total data science. You can change it to whatever you want, right? You can change it to whatever you want, right? Maybe something like that. So if I do Control S, that is save it, you see that over here. So as I said, I always like to set this always run on. You see that we have our total data science over there, right? So you can do it as you want. You can do it as you want, all right? So let's see the next thing that we can do over here. After setting the title, what we can actually do is maybe add some text. So if you want to add any text, you can do st.write, right? You can do that, and then inside the write you can put any text that you want. So maybe writing. I'm just showing you. You can just write anything that you want. So writing a text. Writing a text here, then I save it. If I come back, you see that it's there. Writing a text here, you see. So anything that you do on your text editor here is going to reflect live, right? So that's you coding at the background and then showing it at the front end, all right? So maybe you want to, if you go to the Jupyter Notebook, right, you can see that we have over here, you can, with all these tests, right, all these tests that I added, right, it's just, here it's just a markdown, right, it's just a markdown. So over here, right, you can change it to markdown, right? So like here is a markdown, right? It's a markdown cell. So the same thing, you can do a markdown over here. So if I do st.markdown, right? If I do that, right? So over here, I can write anything that I want to write. I can write any text over here, just like I was using the text. So let's see. This is a markdown cell. Okay, not like that. This is a markdown. So let's save it, Control S, and then come back to our app and then see. You see that is there. This is a markdown cell. You see that is there, right? And then so all these are things that you need before we get to developing our app, right? So first we need to get ourselves familiar with the things, some of the features that we can actually do, right? And then after this, we will first move on to building a simple app, and then after that, we will build a complex one that I showed you earlier on. All right, so let's do that, right? Let's see some of the things that you can also do, right? So maybe you want to print something for the user to see, right? So maybe some user do something and you want to print some message for them. So maybe we can do st.success, right? If they're able to perform whatever you want them to perform, well, you can use st.success, and then inside this you can write anything that you want. So maybe congrats, maybe you can do that. You can write congrats, you run the app, right, successfully, right? So maybe you can just write that. So Control S, that is save. Now you see what we have, right? Congrats, you ran the app successfully. You see that? That is one of the things maybe you want to do. Maybe you want to do some info, right? You can do st.info, right? You can do that, and then inside that, the kind of information that you want to give to them. So maybe I can just write, this is an information for you. All right, so I'm just going to save that. See that is there. This is an information for you, right? So any changes that you make here is actually going to reflect live, right? It's going to reflect live. Maybe you want to show them some warning, right? So not always going to be success or something. Maybe they do something, you want to show them warning, right? So you can also do that. So maybe be cautious. I can do that. Okay, so I'm just going to save it. Come here. Now you see that is there. Be cautious. Right. So depending on what you want to show the user, right, you can use as many as you want. So as many functions as you want. So that's based on your preference and what you want to actually achieve. Maybe you want to show error. Let's do that too and see. Right. So for that you can do st.error. Right. If you want to show any error message to the person, right? So maybe I can do oops, you ran into an error, you need to rerun your app again, or install or uninstall and install your app again. Maybe this is the one that you want to show them. So let me do Control S and then come back here and see. You see that is there, right? Oops, you run into an error. You need to rerun your app again, or you uninstall and then install your app. All right. So these are some of the things that you can actually do, right? So that is to show warning, right? That is to show warning. So let's do something, or maybe help. Maybe let me just do that last one. Maybe you want to show help. So I can do that, right? I can also do that. So inside here, maybe a certain function, then you want the users to get help for that particular function. So maybe if you take range, for instance, right? You've been using range to generate some range of values. So maybe the user is not familiar with the range. You can actually do that so that they get help for that. So if I do that now, you can see that is there, right? You see that we have range, and then what range is used for is being written over here, right? So range, and then you can see we normally have a start and then a stop, right? So maybe range of 0 to 100, right? And then that is going to be the input, and what it does, right? To return an object that produces a sequence of integers from start and then to stop. The information what that function is going to be displayed over there. So if you want to display what a particular function does, you can also do that, right? You can do that.